And we're live.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yvonne Witter. Francine Daly to everyone. Good evening, Francine. Thank you for your greeting. So my name's Yvonne, and I'm hosting Diaspora Kitchen tonight. Diaspora Kitchen happens roughly every 2 months. It's a Ubelli initiative, and it's an experience for us to experience. An opportunity for us to experience. Well, we can't experience, like tasting, but we can see how different meals are prepared from around the world. And we've had people from the Caribbean and West Africa and various different countries. And tonight we have Sophie from Kashmir. And as you can see, I've got Kashmir in the background and we're going to have a dish. I'm going to talk to Sophie throughout the session, and I'm just going to say Sophie's going to do a chari chicken recipe, and the direct translation of achar is pickled. So you can expect a tangy, spicy chicken dish, often enjoyed as a starter. Oh, my lips are my mouth's watering already. And you can have it alongside lamb kebabs and tandoori chicken. Yum yum. Oh, it's a Kashmiri family favorite. Oh wow, this is lovely. Right, okay. Sophie.
Good evening. Hi, thank you for joining me in my kitchen, Yvonne and Ibele. Really, really honoured to be part of this initiative, so thank you for joining me. I'm going to hit it off straight away because I think I need to get started straight away. So yeah, as Yvonne was saying, this is a Kashmiri. I say it's a Kashmiri because I've only ever had it in Kashmiri households, but it could equally be in other Pakistani or Indian households. I just haven't had this variant of it. Just to begin, I'm going to put in 2 to 3. I'm going to just check, but initially start with 2 cups of oil because this is very oil heavy to begin with, this dish, and we're going to drain it out. So don't worry about that. But I'm just going to start with that.
Yeah. What kind of oil are you using?
I'm using vegetable oil. You can use any.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not. I'm going to use 3.
Okay.
3 cups.
Yeah.
And then this is going to get quite hot, so I'm just going to put the lid back on and let that really heat up.
Right.
Now, with that oil, it has to be really hot. So when the chicken goes in, it fries the chicken and sears the chicken.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of heating and cooking right at the very beginning. So I need to wait for that to be heat up quite quickly. So yeah, as you were saying, Yvonne, it's the direct translation for achar is pickled, and I have to read this, but the main the main ingredient of this dish are 5 seeds, and they're whole seeds. So the whole thing is about not being ground, and the seeds are in here are fenugreek, nigella, cumin, mustard seed, and fennel seed in equal parts.
Right. Yeah.
I'll show you that. You can get it from any grocers, Asian grocers, and it's called Banch Pura. And Banch is 5, and Pura is whole. So, like your Chinese 5 spices. This is like
exactly. Yeah.
So you should hear the oil crackling now. I'm going to let it crackle just a little bit longer, just a couple of minutes. And there's my chicken prepared earlier.
How do you know this 5 spices thing? How do you say it again?
Banch Pura. So P-A-N-C-H.
P-A-N-C-H. Okay.
And Pura is P-U-R-A.
Okay, right.
So just to be careful, but
yeah.
I'm now gonna put in the chicken. There we are. And let it go on high heat. So really the chicken is being fried over the oil.
On high heat.
I'm gonna just pop the lid back on that to let it fry, and then I'll stir it in a few minutes. The idea is to just let it fry off and sear off, and it's the oil. What I said in the recipe, the oil covers a good part of the base of the pan and almost like 2/3 of the chicken.
Right.
So it's not just a couple of tablespoons. It's a fair amount of oil that you're putting in there.
Right.
Yeah. And It might be that I'm just going to turn that down a teeny bit. My heat's quite high.
So when did you,
and you might even have to add some. Sorry, go on.
When did you start cooking, Sophie? When did you were you always cooking? Did you always like cooking?
No, I've always liked eating food. I'll be honest with you, I only really started cooking in the last few years. Really partly because my mum's a really good cook. And so if we were ever going to cook, it was never going to be Pakistani or Kashmiri food. It was going to be something else.
Oh, right, yeah.
Mum's cooking.
Yeah.
But I suppose like now I want to know how to make it myself. So a lot of it is about sort of picking up that skill yourself, isn't it? And
of course, yeah.
It's nice to be able to know. And also when I moved into my own place, I like to cook a bit here as well. So it's been quite nice. So I'm just turning these chicken drumsticks over. Sorry, I was saying that although I wrote down chicken wings, I prefer chicken wings, but my butcher didn't have them today, so he gave me these small drumsticks.
Oh, okay, right.
Any boneless chicken, if you prefer that, you could use chicken drumsticks. You could use chicken wings, whatever you want, really. But so that you're going to now start seeing the chicken turning slightly white, and that's when it's frying off. Yeah. But I need it to keep going because I want it to be fairly cooked once I add the spices
to it. So what are your interests outside of this, Sophie?
All right. So outside this, by profession, I'm a lawyer. I work in social housing. In terms of interests, I like nature. I like going for walks in nature. I love. I say I'm a bit of an armchair anthropologist. I do like learning about different cultures, and that's why I suppose I like the Diaspora kitchen. Being able to really, I suppose, taste a part of somebody else's culture is quite important. Yes. And I think when we live in quite a multicultural society, I think to be able to learn from other people is really, really important. I think I agree. And I think as people of diaspora, cooking's a really important part of our heritage. It so is, honestly. Yes, food. I was thinking about this just a bit earlier, actually, because I was thinking that when we were growing up, if you think about it, if you speak another language, often brown languages aren't seen as I suppose, not as liked. Yes. They were. Whereas if you said you spoke Italian or Spanish, that's a different thing, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. Or French. I'm glad it's changing now, though. However, you notice with our food, everybody's always loved the food, right? Always. That's the way. So it doesn't matter if you're speaking a different language, that's not that important, but the food has always been important. So I find that quite interesting. It's very, very interesting, that one, isn't it? Very interesting. It is. And I think from that perspective, every food from different cultures, it's given us that level of credence and also pride that maybe other things have taken a bit of a while to get to. Yeah. You see what I mean? So, right, so this chicken's now turning white. I still want it a bit more, only because the chicken pieces are quite big. Yeah. So I let it sizzle a little while longer. Yeah. So that's really those are my interests. And nature, I love walking, trying to get fit, but that's hard in this sort of lockdown. It's almost it's almost impossible, isn't it? It's impossible, yeah. And travel, and again, that's difficult in this lockdown. Yes, you can say that again. Gosh. Now, the interesting thing, Yvonne, is that you've got a photo of Kashmir behind you, but again, this dish is actually quite a diaspora dish. I've not even really tasted it from Kashmir. It's more something that's come over the years in the Kashmiri diaspora community here, and that's how I tasted it. So I'm not sure why. I think it might be the prevalence of different ingredients. I don't know. I think that happens a fair bit, because my heritage is Jamaican, and a lot of the foods I taste from local shops, they call it corrigo rice or whatever, but it's got no resemblance to what you eat in Jamaica, because it's not the same spices. It's not. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't taste the same. More for a Western sort of a European sort of place. and some places cook for European palate, because even second generation might not like spicy food. I mean, I don't mind spicy food, but my son doesn't like. My son's trying to convince me of late. Oh, Mum, actually, I do like spice. I'm like, yeah, right. And for spice, they mean hot, don't they? So So you said your son doesn't like spice, did you say?
Well, he used to not, and then recently, of late, he's now trying to convince me that, well, actually, he can handle spice, as in hot. Yeah.
And I suppose that's about the thing about this dish is that although it's got spices in it, and I've said that there's an option of putting chilies in there.
Yeah, you said the chilies are optional, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not a heat dish.
Yes.
And my nephews, they don't like spice, but they love this.
Yes.
And it's because it doesn't have that spice. It's got spices, but it hasn't got the heat element of it.
I know what you mean, yes.
Yeah. All right, so let me see. I think we're doing all right. I'm just going to let it go for another couple of minutes until I'm satisfied that the chicken's decently fried. And then I'll add the spices in.
Yeah. Can we have a look, or is it too dangerous?
Could sort of have a look. It's just white chicken.
Oh yeah, right. So literally, you've just made sure the blood's out.
It's frying. It's all it is chicken and it's frying.
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to heat slightly lower now. Just doesn't catch, but just carries on frying. And whilst that's just doing its last few minutes, I'll show you the other ingredients that are going to go in.
Yes.
Now, what I've got in the recipe, I did put down that for this sort of amount of chicken, I said turmeric and the panchpura masala, so 3 tablespoons of the masala, and 3 tablespoons of the haldi, which is a turmeric. And really, the only aim of the turmeric is to give it colour.
Oh, right, I see. Yes.
They're both mixed into this bowl I've got here now. So the right amount in there. So this gives this like chicken dish quite a bright yellow, almost neon-y colour.
Delicious.
And yeah, I think it's probably to reflect on that pickle flavour, but also I think in terms of culinary senses, if you put it on a table with a spread, there aren't many yellow dishes amongst everything else. So it sort of really does stand out when it's amongst like starters. So that's quite nice.
Look, yes, I think it would, wouldn't it? So, what 3 people would you invite to a dinner party then?
Oh my God, living or dead, or both?
Both. Either.
Both. I'd really like to invite. So, one of my people that I'd love to invite is Malcolm X, because I just wanted to be able to speak to him. Somebody I greatly admire, somebody whose story I'd love to hear more from him.
I know, yeah. Reading his autobiography changed my view of myself in the world forever. Completely.
I say that as a Muslim, and I say that as a Muslim woman, but I also say that as a person of colour.
Yeah.
He's one person. Right now, I'd like Harry and Meghan to come.
Yes, they need
really
to, honestly.
Otherwise, they're not much of a royalist, but right now, they'd be quite an interesting bunch.
Yeah, they need somewhere to go.
And the other person that I really love, my I suppose icon, Lauryn Hill, is a person I love her voice, I love her music, I love what she stands for. She's somebody that I would love to have.
Yes.
Again, that's somebody that I can really relate to in terms of growing up and her music and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think beyond that, to be honest, I don't really know. I think I'll have to have a think about the 3rd person, but we could.
Well, have a think. We've got time while the chicken's brewing. Tell
me who you think you'd have, then, and give me ideas.
Oh gosh, I think I definitely would have Malcolm X. I just want to know more. I want to tell him how reading his book changed my view of myself in the world, like forever.
Yeah.
Who else would I? Do you know? I'd like Tony Wedgwood Ben.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to talk to him about what he thinks of the world as it is now. The horrors, and Tony Wedgwood Ben. Malcolm X, and who else? Female. Maybe Audre Lorde.
Oh.
The feminist writer.
Yeah. That's interesting, because that brings me on to my 3rd person, and she's a poet and she's a Sufi saint in the Islamic tradition, and her name is Rabia Adawiya, and she's passed away now, but she was many, many, many years ago, and she was a real esteemed saint amongst Muslim saints, and amongst the women, even amongst the men, she's one of the leading ones.
Wow.
And I love her because yeah, she's a woman, a very strong.
Let me look her up. Rabia Adawiya, Al-Adawiya. I should tweet her. Okay.
Right, I'm going to now add in the spices. In goes my turmeric and my panchpura.
Yes, yes, you should.
Not to toss in my pan. In goes my 3 tablespoons, or sorry, 1.5 of salt, but you do it to taste.
Yeah.
You can always add more salt. You can't take salt out. So.
No, you can't.
And then be careful of that because it's going to start crackling. At the very same time, although I've said put in 1 kg, I think I'm going to put slightly less of yogurt. But actually, I'm going to see how it goes again. Now, this is one of the things that you know about traditional cooking. You learn from your mother, and she tells you put in however much looks right? So I'm trying to convert it into like our Western norms, but I'm doing my best. It's a tangy yogurt is what you want. So any tangy yogurt, and this is the one that I use. But I'm going to try and put in probably 3/4 of this in. So I'd say 750 to 800. And once I've put that in, if I feel like it needs a bit more, because what I want is this yogurt is going to add to the tanginess, marinate all the spices together.
Yeah.
In fact, I might just go whole hog and just put it all in. I mean, all it's going to do is make it tangy, right? It's not going to do anything else. That's what. Yeah.
Oh, lovely with the spices and everything.
So
and it must make it a nice yellow color with the white mixed with the strong yellow. That must have been gorgeous.
That's it. So you just mix that in, and I'll show you the yellow once it's thingy. That's my technical language. Once it's mixed. And the thing about the yogurt is it then separates the oil from the other ingredient. Yeah, so that's what we want. We start off with lots of oil, but we want to end up with oil separated. Now, I'll try and show you this.
I didn't know that.
I'm just going to give it a good stir so it just mixes up without trying to break the chicken pieces. But because we've let it sit for quite a while, it shouldn't break, and that's part of the reason why you do that. So this is, if I could do it whilst being careful, I'll show you now. It's sort of, that's the colour to start off with, and that's the consistency it needs to be slightly separated.
Up a bit. Yeah, okay, right. Yeah.
Now I'm going to put the lid back on and let it just on high heat, let it just suck up that oil, the flavour, burn up as much of the liquid in it as possible. And then we're going to start seeing, I can start smelling it. You can't smell it, unfortunately, but you should be able to smell it.
I know.
So I'm going to let it go for a few minutes, and once it's started going, mixing, marinating all the spices and the yogurt and everything coming together, I'm then going to add some chili. Again, this chili is optional. It's just normal chili. Optional.
I would add it because I like it hot.
And when you're serving it up, the thing is, because I just slit it down the middle, you can sort of out, can't you?
Yeah, you can take some. Yeah, I might try and make that when my son comes to visit.
Yeah.
I'll take out the because he likes chicken korma and stuff like that.
Oh, does he? Yeah. So I'm just giving it a little stir, and then I'm going to leave it in here. Might have overdone it with the yogurt, but never mind. It's just going to dry up. It's fine. Exactly. Yeah. So that's where we're at. I'll let that go for a little while. It's almost like the yogurt. Sorry, go on.
No, I said I've never cooked with yogurt, but I've always wanted to, but I just didn't know what to.
Yeah. Does it not feature in Mediterranean? Sorry, does not feature in West Indian dishes much?
No, not at all.
Tell me how
we use a lot of coconut milk.
Yeah.
But that's about it in terms of. But this is interesting.
So with cooking, I was thinking about this because I think I was asked about my memories of cooking, and one of the things about and it's probably a lot of traditional cultures, but one of the things about I know from my grandmother and my mother is that cooking and food is very much part and parcel of the culture in terms of generosity, and it's giving food, ensuring people in your house to eat food.
Yes, exactly.
My gran and my mum as well, my gran specifically, she would start her main meal, evening meal, at the same time as breakfast. And she'd do that because she'd always say this. She'd say, what if somebody turns up at your door and you've got nothing to feed them? And when you're kids, you're like, well, why are they going to turn up at your door? And also, you've got that Western influence now because you're like, well, people need to turn up.
Yeah.
My mum does the same. And I suppose in a way it's inculcated in me. I'm not going to pretend to say that I cook this sort of stuff on a regular basis. I don't. But I am conscious of having my freezer stocked because if somebody rocks up, have I got something in there just put in the oven to give them? And I know that's very much within me. From that perspective, food is very, very much part of it.
Yes. Someone just put in the chat that their grandma used to say the same thing. I was raised in the same culture. You know, I met someone recently who said that she was raised, she's a Caribbean person too, but she was telling me that her family were raised not to feed people when they visited. I was horrified. I was like, really? And I said to her, I could never have someone come to my house and not offer them something to eat, or know that someone's visiting and not have a meal prepared. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, that's just how I was raised. And then she said, is that not showing off? And I said, no. Yeah, exactly. What did you just add? Sorry.
Chilies, not the bullet chilies, the thin ones, So they're going now. Now I'm going to let this just go and we could talk because this is going to go for a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Yeah, I find that odd because I've never known even any Caribbean people to say that because it's just, but it's almost like if somebody comes to your house and they don't eat, it's considered offensive.
It's considered offensive. If you come to my house and I offer you something to eat and you say no, then I like thinking, what's the matter? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'd be deeply offended. I'm offended if you cook and if I cook a meal and you put ketchup on it, I'm offended. Never mind.
Well, I don't like ketchup as much, but I know that like a lot of people they do like ketchup
or mayonnaise or whatever. Yeah, I know. I mean, I laugh about it, but I just think you don't need. I just think I've cooked. You don't need anything else.
But the cooking, I think it's interesting though, isn't it? Like in a lot of traditional cultures, why food is so important. Because I suppose because no matter how much people may have had or may not have had in terms of wealth, food was always a priority, right? For pretty much everyone. So the one asset you always had was food. No matter what food it was, you had food. So you could give that to people.
You could, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's nice. I think it's a nice thing to do. Don't you think, Sophia? It's nice and it's generous to feed people.
Yeah, it is. It is. I agree with you.
I don't know why people make such a big deal about it nowadays. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Do you think there's less of a culture of feeding people now?
Yeah, when everybody wants to go out to a restaurant or something to eat food, you don't know how it's prepared in the back. You have no idea the cleanliness or the how.
That's true, actually. That is true.
And also, it's become it's like a status thing as well, isn't it? To say that I went out last night and this is where I went. You know, it's all that too.
Yeah, that's true. Yet we all like home cooked food much more, and that's probably why a lot of these home cooking, what are they called, like kitchens and stuff, like homemade desserts, are really picking up, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They certainly are.
Much nicer than shops. It's and I really do. I do think to myself that the one thing I do want to carry on is definitely the culture of having food, giving food, generosity in that sense.
Yeah.
Even my neighbours. We have Ramadan coming up in a couple of months now, and one of the things in Ramadan, I'm not sure if you're aware, but is that it's considered a great thing to be able to give food to break fast with people.
Yes,
now,
after dark.
Yeah, exactly. So when the fasts were like at a reasonable time, in the sense that it was like 5-6 o'clock, it was much easier to invite people around and break fast together. Now, in the last few years, where it's been quite late and people don't really want to be, we've still carried on the custom of like delivering food to people and say, well, you know what, tonight's fast isn't been broken.
Oh wow!
So it's quite important.
So you still, even though that was difficult for people to come around, they delivered you. That's really sweet.
Yeah, it's also that you don't lose that. It's very easy. Yes. What I find is really easy to lose good habits, isn't it?
Very easy, yes. And then before you know it, 10 years down the line, nobody shares anymore at the break in the evening because it changed because of that season. And yeah, it's true. That's really good. Yeah, to keep
So
it.
we've got.
So
Actually,
have
more
you?
than cooking.
Hmm?
Yeah, sorry, go on. I
So
was saying more than cooking, I like baking, but yeah.
Oh, you like to bake?
Yeah, I do like to bake. I'll probably find it, easier.
Easier. Mm. So have your experiences as a person of diaspora living in the UK influenced the way you live your life?
I think it's part and parcel, isn't it? I don't think you can separate the two off. Person of diet. I suppose in many ways, you're not conscious of any other way of living because you've always been that person of diaspora. Whether at school or university or in the professional field. And I think when you're younger, it's harder to step into that. I think in many ways you're trying to just force your way through and trying to get ahead in career and everything else and trying to be the same as everybody else. And then as you grow into your age and your culture, then you embrace it much more. I think when you're more comfortable in your own skin, certainly I think that's probably happened to me much more. It might be because as you have more time, you're able to embrace it more. Whereas prior to that, you're in this sort of rat race of like university, school.
Trying to treadmill.
What are you going to do? What you're trying to do that you're competing with so many other people. You just got to throw yourself in.
You got to.
And then you're in there, and then you can then go back and embrace those aspects of you, and they'll stay with you. They're always with you. It's just do they come through at different points? But yeah. I mean, life is different for everybody, right?
It is. Do you feel any different, more relaxed in Kashmir than when you're here? Because I know that when I visit Jamaica or places, I tend to have this sense of just a little bit more relaxed than here.
I'm not going to say I feel more relaxed, but I would, because I've never really spent a substantial amount of time there. I've only ever been on 2-week holidays.
Ah, right. However, that's not enough.
Yeah, so it's not the same. However, what I will say is that when you step off the plane, there's a certain something in the air that makes you feel like, oh, okay. It was almost like, okay, there's something here that is a natural part of me.
Yes.
And that feeling. And a friend of mine described it as he was Somali, and he said he went to Somalia. He said, I now know what white privilege feels like. But that's basically what it is, isn't it? But this is what it is.
Yes, that's a brilliant way, because I find for me, when the plane lands and the door opens and I'm coming off the aircraft, I feel hugged by the sunshine. You know, I'm just enveloped with this warm air that hugs me, and it just feels like I'm having a hug from the sun. It's beautiful feeling. Whatever happens after that, it happens. You know what I mean? But that moment of stepping off the plane.
Yeah, no, it is, but at the same time, and I think I share this with other people, especially in my generation of different backgrounds. There's always something, because you'd never quite fit into that environment either.
No, we don't. No, we're foreigners.
So, this sounds really. It's almost like you want to be there, but you want to be there with people from here, and because you're not quite there, you just. Yeah.
Yeah, they look at me. They look at my ashy skin, and they look at the way I walk quickly, and and then you open your mouth, and it's over, isn't it? It's just like, you're a foreigner. Oh, right, okay, we'll just fleece you.
Well, that's it. And I suppose to them, you are a foreigner.
Well, yeah, I've had to accept it now. I didn't for many years accept it. I wouldn't accept it. I said, I'm not a foreigner. I'm one of you, but no.
Do you feel like you'd feel more comfortable there than in the UK then?
Pardon?
This is just bubbling away, by the way. It's just bubbling away now, and it's basically the yogurt I suppose is just reducing down. The oil is separated. I don't really want to lift it up because it's going to be too dangerous, because it's quite hot. And
so it's separate. That's interesting to know. It separates. So I'm really looking forward to making this dish.
Yeah. So but I'm going to let it keep going. It doesn't really need a lot of stirring, because there's quite a lot of liquid in it. It doesn't really need stirring. It's just gonna evaporate. And really, when this dish is always done, is when the oil is completely separated from the chicken and the spices.
Yogurt. Oh.
And the idea then is to extract the oil.
Yes.
Because you don't want that oil in there. You want the oil out. Quite a lot of oil.
Can you make it with a different meat, or is it normally with chicken? Can you make it with fish? Huh?
Oh yeah, you could probably make it with fish. I've never tried it with fish. We've only ever done it with chicken, but you probably could do it with fish actually. But I suppose you just modify the amount
if you use meat, you'd have to boil the meat to get it soft, I suppose, wouldn't you?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm just checking the time to make sure I put it in yet. We've still got another 10 minutes, and I think that's about right. That was done. Sorry, you were talking about your experiences in the UK.
Oh yes, you were asking if I feel. Were you asking yourself if I feel? Did you say if I feel comfortable?
Yeah. I was saying, where do you feel? You were saying that you feel more comfortable here. Or...
It's a difficult one, isn't it? For me, it's a difficult one, and I think it's difficult for lots of people because you get there, or you get to maybe even a country on the African continent as a black person, and you're a foreigner, and so it positions you in a space, and it depends. I mean, some people, from talking to some others, some people accept that label, if you like, and play to it, but I've always for years wanted to just be accepted as part of the fabric, part of the community, as opposed to being singled out as different, because I'm singled out as different here already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's good to, yeah, it's true. It's true. I think it's coming more to the now. Yeah.
So Francine Daly agrees with me. She said, when the plane door opens and that heat hits you, that's the best feeling. I get the feeling that I've reached. Yes, Francine Daly, I agree. Yes. So it's not just me. There's somebody else who's had the same experience.
No, I agree with you. I think I completely agree with you. I just think that environment and that atmosphere and that temperature and that weather, but my people from here. Right, so that's, you sort of see, I can't really show you because it's quite,
I can see a little bit, yeah, but just be careful because that looks really hot and bubbling, but that looks lovely. I can see a bit of it.
So
beautiful colour.
You could, if
yeah,
you
I
smell
can see.
it, you
Can't smell it, but I can see it's floating in the oil. Yeah. Oh, that looks lovely. So there's no more spices to add now, is there?
More spices to add. All we're going to add now towards the end is some bullet chilies. These aren't really spicy chili or heaty. They're more tangy. Again, just slit down the middle, and then you can just take them out. Whoever wants them can have them. Those who don't want them, don't have them. My aunt adds in around now. She'd add in like diced potatoes because then they come out. Oh, because she's saying her kids like that, but I didn't want to be too adventurous with that. I've never done that before.
I do that when I'm making curry goat. I'd diced potato at some point, or curry chicken even.
How do you do curry goat then?
So you'd season it overnight, ideally with curry powder, with turmeric and various spices in it, made up already, and pimento seed, onion, garlic, thyme, and peppers, Scotch bonnet peppers, sliced. Yeah. If you like it hot, and then you kind of leave and salt a little bit, and black pepper, and then you leave that to soak overnight, and then you when the next day you put a pot on some oil in the base of the pot just to cover the base of it. You put some curry powder in there just to not till it burns, but until it gets really hot, and then you put the mutton in and you turn it so it seals.
Yeah.
And then you turn the fire down really low. You can add the onions at that point. Some people season with the onion overnight. It's entirely up to you. And then you turn it down really low, and it should cook slowly and create its own juice.
How long does goat take to cook though? Because I suppose it takes longer.
It takes long. Doesn't it? Yeah. You cook it like that. I mean, some people obviously they add water and all sorts to it, and then it comes this watery thing you get in the shops, but that's not the traditional way to cook it.
How often do you do that?
I don't do it much anymore.
Yeah.
I don't do it much anymore. I'm on a detox now anyway. I'm not even eating any carbs or sugar or anything decent.
That was my idea as well last week. But, lasts for a little while, then it's gone. But no, I do want to. I'm trying. I want to try and do this couch to 5K and then get running.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing. That's the other thing, isn't it? When you've been brought up on really good food, it's really hard.
It's
not
almost
to have,
impossible.
You can try like bits of things here or there, but by the end of the week, you're like, no, I need proper food now.
Yes, climbing the walls. What's happened to me is because I'm on this detox thing and it's for my health, I end up not eating anything because there's nothing that I would like to eat, if you get my meaning, and I can't.
So what are you allowed to eat then?
Pardon?
What are you allowed to eat then?
Well, like broth, anything with no lettuce, salads, vegetables. So I cook vegetables. Yeah. I made a lovely chickpea curry a few nights ago. I was very proud of myself.
That's nice. I like chickpeas. They're a good, underrated food, they are.
Yeah, lovely, delish.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going to keep going. I want it on for at least another 10 minutes before I even open it again.
And then what are you going to do? When are you going to do with it when it's after 10 minutes? What are you going to do?
So when it's almost done, then we're going to tilt it so that the oil, actually I might not even have to tilt it. Use tongs, take it out, put it aside. So what you're doing is taking out pieces of chicken. That way you're getting rid of any oil, excess oil, and then you can serve it. And I will get some bread. And I've actually got some, some Turkish bread because we can get it, and we're really lucky we can get it. And then we're just going to put that on some of that bread and have it with that.
Oh, delish! Oh my God! Yeah, I can't wait. I can't have it with bread. I can have it with maybe salad or something, but I can eat that.
Yeah, you can have it with salad as well, but I just think, yeah.
Oh, that looks yummy. Oh,
we're just so lucky with so much variety around us. So yeah.
I know, that looks yummy.
Yeah. And it says it's great for kebabs and other things. So yeah, we'll have it with that.
Yeah. Super. So would you serve it with rice as well, or?
So it can be with rice, chapati.
Yeah, I would have thought.
Yeah. It can be eaten with all that. And sometimes, when it's small, these are quite big pieces, but when it's small chicken wings, just like a drumstick, and that's why I say as a starter or as boneless pieces of chicken, just as a starter. But otherwise, with rice, with roti, with naan, with salad, it's good with salad if you're not eating anything else. It's quite versatile, really. So you can have it with whatever you like. And the other thing that happens is that often the bits of chicken crumble, and what's really lovely about this dish is that they crumble and fall into pieces with the spices, and so that's really nice with a bit of bread.
Yummy, yeah, that must be nice with some bread. Oh, you're really making me like, oof. Miss food.
Miss food. Oh no, yeah, it's quite hard for you to be doing this if you're not allowed to eat proper food either.
But you're so far away. I'm not tempted. I can't eat the bread, can I? I can't do it. If I was in the same space, then I'd really be challenged.
So Yvonne, I can't let this evening pass without your take on the Oprah interview. Tell me, what you make of it?
Frankly, I was very I didn't realize I would be so saddened by it. I just thought I just think taking away their security is such a dangerous thing to do when the tabloids are blasting their whereabouts all over the place. I can't reconcile that. It's almost like no one cared about their safety.
Yeah.
And why would you want them killed? The world we live in, how could you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't sleep. I just thought that was so cruel.
It's sad.
The boy was born with security. He doesn't know anything. He looked so distressed. He looked so vulnerable last night. He's not used to living like this.
And it's quite like bittersweet and quite sad that he's like, oh, I'm just living off the money my mum's left me. You're thinking his mum had foresight to leave him that money.
Yeah.
I was telling her my son's going to need this. Just going to check it again. Oh yeah, it's come together.
Excellent.
Just going to give it a quick stir.
Yeah.
It's not sticking. That's why we have a non-stick pan, and it's quite a wide basin. But
yeah, I've got a pan like that. That's brilliant.
Yeah. They're really good, aren't they? They are really good.
Yeah, I think I got mine from Sainsbury's or something. Really good.
Sainsbury's as well. Sainsbury's good range, actually. Yeah.
Broad base. Yeah, I was really saddened. How did you feel?
Yeah, so I didn't watch the interview, by the way, because I just can't bring myself around to watch that sort of stuff. But I read articles on it and saw little clips, and I thought I think it's quite telling that his mum felt that she had to leave him money because she preempted, or she could foresee something's going to go wrong here. And but also what I find really sad is the response of our media here. I mean, I went
well, that's a whole different. I mean, they're on a trip, aren't they? They're on a trip.
I went for a walk this morning, and I went past a newsagent, and I took a photograph of all the headlines.
Yes. I saw a brilliant tweet. A brilliant tweet. It had, I think, one of the headlines about the worst crisis in the monarchy in 58 years. Did you see that one? And he said it doesn't want to be picky, but there's somebody's been accused of being
exactly. And yet this is the worst
crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
priorities.
Yeah, it's very strange. Very, very strange.
I saw the son was saying, so who's the racist in the royal family? Yeah.
God, here we go.
You could take a picture.
I think it's almost a moot point. I think I'm glad she got out, because she probably would have ended up in some kind of attic room.
You know what I was really disappointed? When it was her wedding, why did Charles walk her down the aisle? Why didn't her mum walk her down the aisle? She's a strong woman. But why wasn't that allowed? Did she say she's been brought by her mother?
That's interesting. Yeah.
I felt why is he walking you down the aisle? And it's obviously they control so much, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Who knows what she had to say over?
Yeah.
But well, we have to save ourselves, and I'm glad she had the foresight to save herself, because
she did, and I think she did well by acting quickly and getting out. Really.
Yes. Yeah.
But it is sad. It is really sad.
And we've seen we've seen his mother go through it. I mean, if you see the films, you read the books, it's not much different, is it? She wasn't listened to, heard, her views weren't taken into account. No.
I'm now going to add these bullet chilies, because I think it's time to add these.
Okay, great. That'll be nice color as well, the green.
They're green, and they're just a bit of tang.
Yeah.
And they'll just absorb some of that flavour. And if you want, you could keep it in there. If you want, you could take it out of there at the end. But I'm going to let it go right to the. We've got 15 minutes. I'm going to let it go a bit more. But it's an interesting time for our monarchy, I think, and that'll be quite it'll be telling.
What's that?
So it'll be an interesting time for our monarchy, though.
Oh yeah, let's see what happens. Well, they're all intent on rubbishing her, aren't they? They're not really intent on, So I just think a big institution like that. Why would you want to do tit for tat and investigation into her being a bully? Why would you even embark on that?
Again, coming back to your point, investigation into her being a bully, but no investigation into.
Yeah, exactly, and it's all kind of strange to me.
So I like putting it on a bed of bread. So when you put
right,
bread,
yes,
yeah. And that's just really like sizzling now. So I'm glad that it's just really burnt the yogurt. Could heat these up a little bit actually. Could just in the toaster. Can I ask you now? So, what's your earliest memory of a good kitchen food?
I have a very early memory. It was my 16th, I think it was, and I wanted to have my friends round, 16th birthday. Yeah. And I decided I was going to cook, but I couldn't really cook very well.
Yeah.
I made baked chicken. I baked pieces, seasoned it before and then put it in the oven, and baked it. And then I made some rice, which was very, very watery. And the chicken was fine. I made plantain. I don't know if you know right plantain. I think that came out just about okay, a bit burnt. Yeah. And I made a cake, and the icing was really runny. Anyway,
was it just boiled rice that you made that you said was really runny?
I
Was
said,
it boiled?
yeah, royal ice.
Oh,
The boiled rice.
right.
The boiled rice was a bit wet, a bit not dried out
I
enough.
can't do boiled rice. I don't know why. I find it really hard. I can make a curry dish, but I can't do the rice. I find it really difficult to get it right.
My friend can't. She uses a rice maker every time. She just can't make rice. But I can. I can make rice now. Just I know how much water. But then that was, I think I hadn't really cooked. Yeah. So that was my cooking debut. For my friends were there. Then my friends, they were all very kind. You know, they were very kind. It was edible. When was my earliest? What was your earliest? You have an early memory?
Yeah, I've just so I've just put that in the toaster just to keep a bit of toasting there. Yeah, no, I think I started cooking later, but the food is the big thing. The food is like any gathering has to have food. Anything, any friends coming around, it's got to have food. There's got to be something there, and it's just a part of. Yeah, it's just getting.
I think
together.
It's part of our culture. I think it's a cultural thing.
And also, we don't drink either, so the food is everything, really.
I think it grounds you, the food. It makes me feel grounded anyway when I eat things that are traditionally from my culture.
Yeah, no, it's true. Connects you. But one of the funny things is, like, when we were growing up, everything that wasn't Pakistani food was English food. So pizza was English food, pasta was English food.
Yes. Fish and chips.
Everything was English food. Yeah, fish and chips was English food, but like lasagna was English food. It's like
all right, not Italian.
Everything that was not Pakistani was English. But I'm not sure.
Yeah. I do like some English dishes. I do like shepherd's pie. I like potatoes. I like fish and chips. I really do.
I love fish and chips. Yeah, a good fish and chip.
A good fish and chip. Oh my goodness, a good fish and chip. Oh yeah.
It's a really good one off Tottenham Court Road.
Is there?
Yeah. So when things open up, that'll be the place that we go to. Really nice.
Lots of vinegar and salt. Yeah, fish and chips is delicious, honestly.
With lots and lots of vinegar. Did somebody say that? Yeah, lots of vinegar.
Yeah, I like lots of vinegar and salt. I don't do it now because the salt's not good for you. But yeah, when I was much younger, oh god, it would be drenched in vinegar and salt.
You have to when you have that. But right, let me have a look at it now. Okay,
that looks nicely reduced there, Sophie. That looks lovely.
And the oil is sort of coming apart from everything else. And you can see that it's like the chicken, the yogurt is on the chicken. I can't read it. Yeah, you can. There you are. So it's sort of like coming apart now. You just let it keep going, and I think I'm going to let it keep going for another sort of 5-7 minutes, and then I'll show you when I'm making some. So just to show you how not often I cook, that's the first time I've used my spoon holder from Istanbul.
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
Yeah, it's not actually not that's Istanbul. That's from Lisbon, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I use one.
I like those little things. That's the other thing. When things open up, you want to go back traveling and picking up things from different parts. Right. And you can see that because it all splashes. You want something with a lid on it.
Yes, that's what I realized, Sophia. That it really does. Yeah.
You've got the oil on really high heat for pretty much the entire cooking time.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. Yeah, the flame's quite hay. I'm learning. My dish is going to be great because I've seen everything, and I've got a pan that shape with a lid, and it's a non-stick. So I think I'm going to be okay with that.
It's good pan, isn't it?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not a lot of ingredients in this either.
That's what I'm realizing. I'm just going to try and get the spice. All I need to do is go down to the shop and get the spices, really.
Yeah. It's just like you've got salt in your house anyway. You can put chili.
I've got turmeric. Yeah, I've got haldi in my house. I need yogurt. I need yogurt. And the punch puran masala. That's the thing I need.
That's the only one. Yeah.
Yeah, I use
You might
rapeseed
even
oil.
have individual spices, but you want the actual mix, or unless you want to mix it yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, I need to just get that particular spice.
And if people do try it, please do let Ibele know how you get on, and then I'll know how good my cooking directions were.
Yes, exactly. Leave your comments under the YouTube channel so we can see.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
Makes you think about the the cooking shows, doesn't it? How, I often watch that Great British Menu.
Oh yeah.
And how they're really they're doing things and putting it all together.
What would you drink with? Would you have a drink with that? What would you have?
So I don't drink alcohol, but with this sort of stuff, it's probably not a good thing. But a Coke Zero goes well with everything, really. Or you could have like a cordial or something. But generally, we like something with a wash it down. But yeah, we don't really have because we don't really drink alcohol with stuff. Especially get non-alcoholic. But
yeah, I'm not into alcohol. I think alcohol is overrated, frankly. But I thought you might have like a tea or something. You know, when I was working in Myanmar, they have like a soup with every meal, everything. They have a little bowl of light soup.
Oh yeah, to cleanse your palate. I think this food is so flavored that you don't really need anything else to sort of add to it. And really, like I know, like in some Turkish cultures and even some Pakistani cultures, they have like Aryan, or it's like a milk-based drink.
Yes,
and that's quite popular. And
like
we have
coffee.
Lassi. Called Lassi, yeah. So you can have that, but I don't drink that.
That's what I was thinking. I would want a nice mango lassi with that myself.
Oh yeah, oh, I like mango lassi.
Oh, I do. That's why in my head. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, oh, mango lassi with that.
Mango lassi, yeah. Oh, the seasoned mangoes, eh? I'm going to give it a stir. It's really coming. I don't know how to. I think you can see it slightly, but it's coming.
Yes.
Oil is coming, separating away from the chicken, which is what we want. And you've got bits of the chicken coming apart, which is nice because you want it with the like you can pick it up separately. The chilies are nicely marinated and the chicken is cooked through.
So it seems like the sauce sticks to the chicken, Sophia.
Because the yogurt
cool.
makes the chicken. And when you've got smaller bits, it sticks even more. But yeah, and then the sauce definitely should stick to the chicken, and that's nice.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Right, I'm gonna let it keep going a little bit more.
The oil's completely separated, so you don't have to worry about that.
It's completely sort of separated. You'll see that.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
You can, if you then put it at like a 45-degree angle, you can literally drain the oil.
And you
because it's in spices, isn't it?
Yeah, So you can just lift the chicken out of the oil. Really, it looks like to me.
Yeah. You can, and that's what I'd be doing as well. Just leave it, like letting it drain. It reminds me of like my gran. She used to have. There was some like a white family either side of them, and the kids next door liked my gran's chips because she'd fry them in the same oil as the pakoras, which was spicy. They were like, your gran makes spicy chips. She didn't make spicy chips, she just used the same oil, but it turned out spicy.
That must have been delicious, yes.
But yeah, so this oil is then infused with these like spices, which is really nice. And you can make whatever you want with them. You could make chips, or actually it's quite nice to chuck in with the Chinese. We'll just keep it for this again. But you're not wasting that oil, which is good. And it will last for like, oil will last. It doesn't go off, does it, for a good...
No, it doesn't.
Right, so now I think if I had a bit longer, I would say, because of the size of the bits, I keep it in for a bit longer, but it's done now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and keep it in time. Ainsley does it in time, so I'm going to do it in time. So here we are. There's bread. We've got tongs. Nice bit of chicken. I like the chili, so I'm putting the chili on as well. And there you have it.
Ooh.
There we go. I'm just going to switch it off actually. And then drain that.
And we can just hold it.
There we go. And there.
What? Oh yeah, that looks delicious.
And can you see how there isn't much extra oil there?
Oil, no, not at all. And I love the.
There it is.
Wow.
And the oil in the pan, as I said, once it's done, you just drain the oil in the pan.
Yeah.
So that's that.
I love the way the sauce clings to the chicken. That's what I like about it.
If I can show you, you'll see like the oil is now to. Let me just see if I can show you.
Ah, yeah.
The oil is now in one side.
Yes.
That is all dry chicken with the sauce.
Yes, I can see. Yeah.
So you're good to go with that.
You're good. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And drain it out, and I can actually.
Yeah.
Just get the bowl out. Just to demonstrate that. I think if you put in three cups of oil, you pretty much come out with 3 cups of oil. But
it looks like it, yeah.
Much
yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
So it all just comes out, and that's a nice part of this dish because it just comes out, and you're not feeling as guilty as having so much oil and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there we have it. That's it.
Thank you very much. That was fabulous. Let me see what else is in the chat. Francine said she really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you, Francine. I wish you could, like, if we could do it live and you could have stuff. Thank you guys for watching as well. There you are.
I think we're done, right?
We are done. We are. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was absolutely brilliant. Oh, someone's asked a question. Naya Badu wants to know if there's any veggie recommendations.
Yeah. So my aunt was saying potato. You could use potato.
Of course, you could. Vegetables.
Yeah, potato, vegetables. Because it's all you're doing is you're marinating it with these. The star of this show is the Diaspora, the 5 spices.
Yes.
So any vegetables, potato, tofu.
Tofu, yes. Oh, yes.
So that's pretty good. Like, I think any of that could go with it. Yeah.
Just
takes less cooking time, but same process.
Yeah. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, and enjoy your meal.
Thank you. I'm sorry you can't share with us, but when it's over, you're welcome to come over.
Thank you, my dear. Lovely to meet you.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.